Okay, you're exploding all over, Capricorn. Your life is exploding all over the place. It's all over the place. And you hate it because it's fucking messy. But you know what, Capricorn? As I close my door, messy is exactly what you need. It is exactly what you crave. And it's exactly what you... No, it's not what you crave. It's what you need. Because you're about to embark on a wonderful journey into your past. If you remember yourself as a child, you probably remember a child that was never really a child, right? You probably remember always being called an old soul. You remember always being, so why are you so mature for your age? You know, you remember that because Capricorns have that essence about them of always being solid and mature and like grown folk, because Saturnian energy is grown folk energy. That's what it is Big Papa energy. It's the great restrictor. It's the one that makes the rules and puts the challenges in front of people and says, no, you have to meet these quality standards and all those things. And you're constantly, since the time that you're a kid, you're constantly doing that to yourself. And so that makes you mature a lot quicker. But no, because in the 3D world, it makes you mature a lot quicker. But in the rest of the world, the spiritual world, the emotional world, it actually delays you and it holds you back. So there's a lot of underdeveloped emotional capabilities in you. Even if you're in your 60s, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of underdeveloped emotional capabilities because you're working so hard from the time that you're so young on all of the 3D expectations that you're really not working or focusing on those other aspects of yourself that really want to blossom and really want to shine. So here's the good news, Capricorn, because there's a lot of it. The self-sabotage aspect, please go watch my weekly astrological forecast. I publish it over on Vimeo and in part on Instagram. You can find me at Born Without Boundaries over on Vimeo. That's where the extendeds are too. Link is always below for that. You can subscribe over there too and get access to all of this stuff before people get access through this link here, FYI. But the weekly astrological forecast was all about self-sabotage and how are you sabotaging yourself? You're actually, your inner child is waking, and it's almost like you don't want to hear its cry. You don't want to hear its cry because you don't trust it. It seems too vulnerable to you, too vulnerable a position for you to put yourself in. But it's still a real part of you, and it must be acknowledged because it's directly connected to your heart space. And it's not about your dreams or your desire. It's actually about your purpose in life and what your purpose in life was always to be and was always for. And right now you're being smacked with the reality of, holy crap, has it been me that's been keeping myself from abundance this whole time? You know, has it been my choices? I think it's a mixture, right? It's how we react to the situations that are given to us. We don't always know how we're going to react, right? We don't always know why we react the way that we react, because when we're children, we're reacting in a lot of different ways and everything is kind of like, we don't know what we're doing. But what I am saying is that you are actually getting to experience now this aspect of yourself that is rising up, that you thought that was dead. You thought it was gone. You thought it was over. You thought you didn't want it anymore. You taught yourself pedantically to not want it, not desire it, not even recognize it as an aspect of your character, not even recognize it as you, you know, almost like, oh no, that's not me. It's like you created this whole other persona that was directly in opposition to where you began, right? Because that was too weak for you. But ultimately, it's back. It's here. It's very much real. And what a beautiful, happy satisfaction that's where your world is going to end up, in this very beautiful place that it actually, you know, the thing about being a child, whatever zodiac sign you're delivered into, is simply that you are very in tune with your heart, which is the voice of God inside of you. So you are very in tune with listening to that voice of God inside of you. And then, you know, those restrictions and those confinements and those laws and those expectations, they all put blocks around that and and almost block off, a partition off your heart space. So what does that mean for you this week? In layman's terms, you're about to get everything that you ever really, really wanted. It's just, will you allow yourself to have it? It's so much. You're still so inclined to fall back on those safety zones because holy shit, Capricorn, the South Node energy is off the fucking hook this week, especially with the Grand Fire trine. It's sort of like flaming it up, flaming those, making us feel like where our comfort zones are is where our passions should be, making it very difficult for us to walk away from shit that we don't really actually even want anymore, because they're keeping us stuck and they're keeping us back and they're keeping us from our ultimate happiness. And you don't want to be kept from your ultimate happiness, Capricorn. You absolutely want to grab onto it. And I'm telling you right now, it's definitely in front of you, but you don't trust it. It kind of upsets you. And you're like, you feel like a failure. You feel like a failure because it's like, but that means that I've reached this point in my life and I haven't gotten past it. Well, you were never supposed to get past it. Your responsibility when you were born was to celebrate it, honor it, and develop it, not remove yourself away from it because a whole other persona fit better into this real world. Bullshit. You were supposed to find a place for it in this real world. This is your real world. This is what you really, really love. And I want you to really have the strength and courage it's going to take for you to allow yourself to become that little seed or that little egg that has always been lying inside of you, because it's still very much there. So that was your channeled message. Right now, we're going to head into your oracle card message and Lenormand message. And then we're going to move on to your animal totem spirit guide messages. So we'll know how the earth is communicating with you right now. And then last but not least, in this video is your angel card messages. So hang around for them because they speak a lot differently than I do. And then there's always the extended, and that is 2 in 1, right? It is your romance reading and it is your tarot card reading that extends and articulates and really personalizes the energies that we discover here. So please head over there as well. Now, the first card crowning the reading is Dragonfly. Live life to the fullest. Now, this is a question, almost a big old question mark for you guys. Have you been living life to the fullest? Really? No, because you haven't been celebrating your heart. And you haven't been making choices that enable you to be what you really want to be. You've been talking yourself out of being what you really want to be because somewhere along the lines you decided that was irresponsible and impractical. And Capricorns learn those lessons really fast and really hard when they're young, and it sticks to them like glue and it weighs them down. This is where you start to see the glue starting to shed, and holy shit, is it gonna hurt, because that weight has been attached to you for so long. It's gonna feel like torture, but ultimately, Capricorn, it's not torture, it's liberation. And that's why you're transforming into this self that you were always meant to be. And then we have choices. Make the best choices. This is gonna cause a lot of stress for you right now. This what do I do? What do I choose? What do I choose? It's almost gonna feel like every choice you make is going to be the ultimate one for your whole life. That's just because you recognize the energy in here is very important for your life right now. That's all. It's not that this energy it's not that all your choices are setting you up for disaster or failure. It's not that. It's not that. It's going to feel like that because you're scared. This is all fear, like fear. This is the fear response. This is fear popping out and being triggered. These are these deep-rooted fears. You're almost like afraid to be who you are because you've been telling yourself that you were wrong for so long. And then we have face your fears. So release the power of fear, because fear has a huge power, and fear is very intellectual at this point because Saturn is real hobnobbing with Mercury. There's just a sense of fear being really in smart right now and being really insidious and working on you to really sort of make this time in your life as challenging as possible. But what I see for you is that this time of your life is actually like, it's almost like when the butterfly or the little chick the butterfly starts to break through the cocoon. And what a very difficult process that must be. Not only in perception of what am I supposed to do here, but also in terms of physical labor. So there is a laborious aspect to this change that may make it feel like it's wrong and may make it trigger fear responses in you that say it wouldn't be this hard if it was meant to be. And that's just a bunch of fucking bullshit. All kinds of transitions are fucking hard, okay? The little chick is tired as fuck when it finally gets breaking through that egg, right? And because it's hard work, but it needs to change. It's outgrown that shell, and that shell is its restrictions. It's also its protection. So your restrictions were your protection. You are shedding your protection, Capricorn, but you're also liberating yourself. Freedom is scary. That's true, but it's also worth it. Now, we move into illusions. Embrace the truth. Yeah, it's like escaping the illusion of fear, escaping all those things in your head that's like making you like go crazy right now. It's hard because sometimes illusions, they don't look not real. Like what's real and what's not. Like, what am I supposed to be escaping? I don't fucking know. Like it is a confusing time, but it's almost like the illusions are, it's not necessarily the illusions. The illusions look a lot prettier. They do. You'll know if it looks too good to be true. It's fucking too good to be true. Anything that is true right now is going to be gritty because it's baseline. It still has to be built. You're not going to see your dream mansion on the lot. You're not. You're going to see an empty fucking lot. But that's where you need to be. That's the truth. The truth is is the beginning. The truth is the grassroots. That's where your truth is. And if you look for those grassroots and you look for those beginnings and you look for those opportunities to begin fresh, that's where you're going to be aligning with truth, so that you know the difference between what's truth and what's illusion right now, because it could be really fucked up and hard. 222. I'm telling you, we're on the right track. Dolphin, don't worry, be happy. Now, this is probably the most difficult energy for you because it's play. Let yourself enjoy this period. Let yourself be happy. Like, you're in a position where you're actually able to be liberated and be free and not be bogged down by something, and it doesn't feel good to you because you've gotten so used to so many burdens. But this is your challenge now. Your challenge is to allow yourself to be see, I just heard something. I just heard something. It's almost like you allowed yourself to be free. You allowed yourself to be wild and crazy at one point in your life, and somehow it ended in something that very much disappointed you about yourself. So ultimately you tag that I'm disappointing, I'm ugly, I'm gross, this is an aspect of myself that I can't show anymore, and you put it away. And that's just not true. You weren't ugly, you weren't disgusting, you weren't gross. You were fucking human, you were growing up, and you were learning. Everybody makes goddamn mistakes. That doesn't make you a bad person. You understand? This is when you have to let those prejudices against yourself go. Just let them go. It's like I was transitioning. I wasn't ugly. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't bad. This was something that I had to experience. These were my life lessons. It's like, it's okay to make judgments. It's not okay to condemn. And for some reason, you condemned yourself to a full life in purgatory to pay for shit that you didn't owe anybody for. It's like, what are you still paying people back for? You don't owe them anything. You don't owe it. You don't have to pay this piper. Stop. He's been making himself rich off of your guilt for years. Get rid of that shit. You're scared, right? Because you think that that's what makes you a good person. It's not what makes you a good person. You make you a good person. Good fortune. Invite magic in. what I tell you, this is such a beautiful time for you, and it scares you. It scares you to play. It scares you to have fun. It scares you to say, yeah, this is real. My fortune is real. My abundance is real, because it's coming from an outlet that you don't recognize. Maybe it's coming from an outlet that isn't associated with hard work or tormenting yourself, right? It's coming from an outlet that's actually easy, that's actually pleasurable, that's actually fun. Well, guess what? That's fucking allowed. Okay? And it must be allowed in your life, because the blessings are there for you. And you know what? You did work for them. You did manifest them. You've been manifesting them your whole fucking life. And I know that because I can see it down below. It's almost like, we're going to get to it when we get to Lenormand, but honestly, it's like you started manifesting this from the time you were very, 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 very young. And it's like, well, it finally showed up. Don't you remember? You've been actually, through your energy, working on this and talking about it and saying this your whole life. I feel confident. And this is in water, right? So it's confident in my emotions. I feel confident in being in a less structured situation. I feel confident in who I am and my right to feel the way that I feel. I feel confident about me. This is my truth. Okay, and then you have getting timeless earth, transitioning, that's a little frog, back to your true self and your true nature. And maybe getting into nature, go to the beach, go for a walk, just spend time outside. It's going to help you actually get back to your nature, get back to those comfort levels around your nature. Okay, that's what it's going to help. And it's going to, resolution of the true self. Resolution of your nature, of your human nature, accepting that you're human and that you can't be perfect all the time. Resolution of your personal nature, your personal character. Resolution is really interesting, but it's almost like you're finding, it looks like a really intense card, and it is, but it's like you're doing battle in a fair way. There's a way to resolve this and end it without destruction and without hurting, without pain. Maybe not with pain, but without like killing anything like they show on the fucking card. But what you're resolving is like the demons that are floating around inside of you. You're not, this is usually through forgiveness, to be totally honest with you. Let me work on something. Check this out. I am free. And this could be a very uncomfortable feeling for you as well, because what the hell is freedom? Freedom is not something that a heavy-ass Capricorn wants, but you've got it. You've got it because you worked for it. Do you understand that this isn't a curse? This is something that you've been giving yourself for years. Pollinate. A long time ago, you worked for it. Well, that's why I'm seeing the cards. I know that you've worked very hard on this. You know, and this is a garden that you've been grooming for quite some time. This is, you're going to get your honey, but only busy bees get honey. You have been a very, very, very busy bee. Okay, focus on being yourself and who you're meant to be. That was a little obvious. Energy. See, you've been pollinating this energy for a while. This is what I'm saying. You have been manifesting this energy for quite some time. And that's why I want you to stop acting like this is coming out of the fucking blue, because it's not. You have been maybe saying this to yourself over and over again, and it's honestly just been something that has finally come to fruition. Then we have flowers. Shit is blossoming. Shit is blooming. All right? This is a sense of, you may feel there's a little bit of mourning here, a little bit of suffering, a little bit of death. There is, to old shit and old ways of being that are not you anymore, plain and simple. And then check this out. You're shedding your skin. You're transitioning, right? You're shedding old skin, letting it go on a cellular level, though. You are transitioning on a cellular level based on your dreams and what you've always wanted, and tree rings. You've grown it. You've been developing toward this point forever. It's almost like the giant sequoia saying, I don't want to be a giant sequoia. You have been developing into that for this whole time. It's like the giant sequoia being, I just saw 1919. So you could be dealing with a divine counterpart as well. Let me make a brief interruption right here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Click that box below, hit subscribe, and then hit that bell and choose all notifications so you know when I upload all of the videos. There's 12 here, and then of course there's 12 on Vimeo, 24 videos, 24 pieces of content every single week for you guys. Don't just watch your sun sign, watch your rising sign and your moon sign for a well-rounded message. These are not time-sensitive messages, but they do come out new and fresh every single week. So you might want to go through the playlists. They're organized by zodiac sign to see if any one of the old ones call to you too, because they may not be old for you. They could be exactly where your energy is right now. I attach the playlist of Capricorn up above. You'll see it in every video. Like I said, you can subscribe directly to Vimeo. The extended reading as well as your romance reading is in two readings in one in the link below. And then last but not least, come and find me on Instagram because I have a really wonderful community over there. You can find me at born_without_boundaries over on Instagram. Monday through Friday I go live, man. I do a free reading over there. Come and join me. So it's almost like the giant sequoia saying, oh no, I never wanted this view. I never wanted this view. You were meant to have the view. Don't you understand that? You have been growing into this success for so long. You can't decide to not want it. It's what you're meant for. So you're just going to have to learn how to be fucking happy. Okay? There we go. I will hope I feel transformed. This is about allowing yourself that joy and that birth, that room and space to aspire to believe. Even if it makes you vulnerable, even if you think it's silly, you're finding your inner child again, and you're completely transforming into that pure state of who you are and who you always wanted to be. Listen to this. When you were a child, you wrote a letter or you made a wish. When you were a child, you wrote a letter and you made a wish. And this was always a part of you. It stayed a part of you. It is a conscious part of you. You know about it. You know what I'm talking about. It is that wish. It is that aspiration that is now attainable. Let's go into your animal totems. Let's see how the universe is communing with you right now. You are never alone. There's love in your life. There's some sort of romance or connection, or let people love you. Let people love you. Let people love you, support you. You love and support them, don't you? It's like you don't show up and do nothing. Capricorns never show up and do nothing. You're loving and supporting in so many ways. Why don't you allow the love and support back into your life? Love and support and love has got a big part to do with this. Oh no. Could be some fourth house energy too, which is just domesticity, right? It's like success in a part that's completely opposite from how you identify yourself. And then spirit has a plan. So this is a divine plan, divine guidance. I told you, this has been fated, destined, and always in the works. Turn knowledge into wisdom. This is moon energy. So it's something that was deep inside of you, something that you feel inside, and now you're acknowledging and letting it help you grow. But it's also a sense of it's coming to the surface. You're howling at the moon. There's a wild, unbridled, untamed aspect of you that's rising to the surface. But now you're ready for it. Because it may be untamed, but the rest of you isn't. And now you know how to deal with it. This is also Piscean energy. So there could be a destiny here, some sort of destiny found with a Pisces or with somebody who's more emotional. Could be, because hello, love is all around. What up? This is a weird filter. I don't understand it that much. I thought I was just brightening. Anyway, whatever. Love is all around, man. What the fuck else you want me to say? I mean, that's the bomb. So, wolf. Now, of course, you may not see a goddamn koala, right? Especially if you live in North America, but like a real koala. But when you see these animal totems like the otter or the wolf or the koala, or look at nightingale, something is beautiful that's happening all around you now. You're just going to have to let yourself be an old softie. That's what you're going to have to let yourself be. So you may not see these actual animals in front of you, but you would be getting messages from them, like seeing them on poster boards, on fucking decals on the back of a car, in random places. You'll see these animal totems are coming into your life in different ways. You know, that you may not see a little nightingale. You may see a nightingale. Depends on where you live in the world, right? Depends on what animals live around you. But you may not come face to face with a wolf, right? But it doesn't matter, because you'll still be getting wolf energy all around you. That's what the animal totems are saying. One angel card came out. So listen closely. Miracle. Our wings of light surround you and those you love. This current situation is governed by a higher power. It's like the angels sit and listen to these readings. The forces of love are at work. All will turn out well. I'm going to take a snapshot of that right there. You want details? Because I know you do. Let's go over to tarot, your love reading too. I'll see you guys in the extended.